Please wait 2 minutes, all of you. I will start today's session. Right, let's start today's session. In the last session, we were discuss about .NET framework components. There are two framework components we have, CLR and base class library. Okay, so CLR is used to provide runtime environment or execution environment. As we discussed, without CLR, we can't able to run .NET application programs. And base class library is nothing but it's a collection of class libraries or group of predefined class libraries, we can say. And base class libraries by default will be installed when we install .NET Framework software. And without base class libraries, we can't write any .NET program. It's not possible. These base class libraries are just building blocks of .NET Framework. And base class libraries are in the form of two different ways. I said in the last session that two different ways of base class libraries. One is .exe and next one is DLL. DLL. Here DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library. We can say that DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library. .exe means it is an executable file itself. It will run individual. So why .exe will run directly or individually means .exe is contain entry point. Entry point of the program is, you know that. What is that means? A static void main. Main method is called entry point of the program. That is static void main is there with the inside the .exe. So that's what when we double click on .exe file directly, you will able to see the output. It will be able to get an execution. So .txt is a main file. It is an executable file. Itself, it will run individually. Why? Because .txt contain entry point that is static void main. But whereas you can see dynamic link library is there. DLL, we can say that. Dynamic link library is not a main file. It is just a supportive file. We can say that. What file we can say? Supportive file. So why I'm calling this is supportive file means this dynamic link library file will be add some required libraries to .exe while it's going to execute. So it's just supportive file, it's not a main file. Even you can see dynamic link library DLL will not run directly. Even when we double click on DLL file, it won't execute, it won't give any output, just for supportive file only. And that's what it is not a main file. Why? Because it do not contain any entry point here, no entry point of DLL. So main method is not present in DLL. Main method always present in .exe. So it's going to execute directly, but it will not execute directly. So dynamic link library, in the name itself, the definition is there. Dynamic means runtime. Link means some link will be add. What it will be add? Libraries. Some required libraries, whatever required to .exe file, that will be add through dynamic link library. And moreover, dynamic link library is a supportive file. It is for reusability purpose. We can use in .NET applications. For example, as a programmer, if you are developing one kind of application logic, so that same logic when we keep inside the DLL, that DLL file we can attach to any other further applications also. So repeatedly you need not to rewrite same logic for same type of applications. Once we prepare the logic with DLL, that DLL we can able to add to any type of application in .NET. So ultimate reusability is possible. So saving time is possible here, and burden will be reduced on the programmer. So directly DLL files will be attached to any of your applications with the modification or without modification. That can be helpful lot of things to that application. Reusability purpose we can use this DLL. So this DLL also we will discuss in detail later session, how to create DLL, how to use that DLL into our further applications. We will be discussed clearly in detail later. Okay. So this is DLL. It's a supportive file. It is just .exe. It is main file. We can say that. Always when we create any type of application in .NET, so you will be able to get two types of files, .exe and DLL. These two under comes into base class libraries, two different forms. I said no, these two are different forms here. These two are different forms, we can say that. Now in the last session, I told you that garbage collector is used to provide automatic memory management. So how garbage collector will work? So what is automatic memory management? In detail, we will discuss through diagrammatic representation. Okay, so let's talk about garbage collector working style. So how garbage collector will work internally. So on what basis it will work, we will see now. So this is the garbage collector diagram already which we prepared. So this is completely heap mechanisms are. Observe here, this is heap mechanism. Garbage collector is completely work with managed heap. This is heap. Heap means random memory location. And moreover, garbage collector will divide into three separate generations, that is generation 0, generation 1 and generation 2. So generation 0, 1, 2, three generations only we have in garbage collector, and always generation 0 is less than generation 1 is less than generation 2. But observe here, according to for your understanding purpose, I took this 10 MB memory of this generation 0 space, 20 MB memory generation 1, 30 MB memory generation 2. So but actually this is not a fixed actually. So just for your understanding purpose, I took this 10 MB, 20 MB, 30 MB. Means it's clearly indicate that generation 0 is small space, generation 1 is some medium space, generation 2 is large space here, 30 MB. Okay, but who will allot memory for this generations? Garbage collector generations means according to project size, according to application size, CLR will allot memory to the garbage collector generations. Like this 10 MB, just 10 MB I took as an example, but based on application size, according to project size, CLR will decide how much memory is required for generation 0, how much memory is required for generation 1 and generation 2. But make sure that always three generations only will be there in .NET garbage collector, 0 and 1 and 2. No more extra generations will create later. Only three generations. And that too, its generation 0 is small and generation 1 is medium and generation 2 is larger. Next, garbage collector uh, always will work with managed heap. I said no. Now coming to the picture, what is automatic memory management here? Automatic memory management. Generally, automatic memory management means, yesterday I told clearly, uh, this is the process to provide memory for useful objects and to destroy memory from unuseful objects. So generally, garbage collector internally is having a separate engine. That engine name is called optimized engine. So optimized engine will be there. This engine will divide the objects into two categories. One is objects in use, objects in use. Next one is idled objects. We can say that idled objects, idled objects, objects in use and idled objects. Objects in use means these are useful objects. This object still it can be useful to run our application. Idled objects means these are garbage objects, means not useful, not useful. Just uh, sit simply in the memory. These objects are. These objects will be destroyed from the memory, and for these objects, memory can be allotted. So this can be do by garbage collector. This is process called automatic memory management. But here in garbage collector, there is a thumb rule. What is the thumb rule here? I will tell you. So garbage collector is having thumb rule. What is the thumb rule means? Thumb rule means fixed rule. All newly created objects, whatever you create newly objects for application, all newly created object will be go and stored in generation 0 only. Garbage collector don't have any right to place newly created objects either in generation 1 or in generation 2. Always newly created object will be placed in generation 0. For example, here object 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7 objects I created, all newly objects. For example, generation 0 is going to generation 0 is having these 7 objects. But as per my requirement, my programming requirement, whenever I try to create a new object like object 8 or 8th object I created, generally 8th object or 9th object, any other objects, newly created object should go and stored in generation 0. But unfortunately here generation 0 objects are full, no space available. So object 8 is ready to come into generation 0. Object 8 will not go to generation 1 and generation 2 because garbage collector don't have any right to place newly created objects or inside the generation 1 or inside the generation 2. Always newly created object must and should store in generation 0 only. Okay, and object 8 is waiting outside. Then at that time what happened, generation 0, how many number of objects are there? In generation 0 there is a collection means method. So in garbage collector will perform internally a method called collection means method. Here collection means method, this collection means method speciality is what, it will divide the objects into two categories like idled objects, objects in use, both. Whatever the objects are useful and whatever the objects are idled objects, it will be divided. For example, here 4, 5, 6, 7 objects are there here. For example, 4, 5, 6, 7 are useful objects, that are objects in use. That objects automatically flush down into generation 1. It will come down by default into generation 1. And idled objects 1, 2, 3, assume that idled objects, these objects are destroyed from this generation 0. So 1, 2, 3 objects are destroyed from this generation 0 because that are idled objects. 4, 5, 6, 7 are useful objects that are automatically flushed down into generation 1. And now totally generation 0 is become empty, and newly created object whatever we have 8 object 8 that will be go and stored in generation 0. So this is the process actually happen internally. Okay, but later after completion of all different collection means method, we may face this problem like generation 0 is going to become full and generation 1 is also going to become full. Generation 0 and 1 both generations objects are full, but newly created object is waiting outside. At that time what happen, again garbage collector will perform collection means method. Using that collection means method, using this collection means method, what happen, this will check in both generations whether idled objects are there or objects in use are there. In both generations, whatever the idled objects that can be destroyed from both generations, and generation 0 useful objects automatically flush down into generation 1. If generation 1 also become full, then generation 1 useful objects automatically flush down into generation 2. Finally object 8 will go and stored in generation 0. So ultimately newly created objects are going to stored where? Generation 0 only. And what happens if all three generations are going to become full? For example, all three generations are going to become full, what's happened? So new generations will not at all create, undoubtedly. But as I said, that garbage collector nature is automatic memory management, no? So that means according to application size or project size, its memory which is allotted by CLR for its generations, automatically this memory also will be expand. So space will be allocated more. Other than that, it will not create a new generations. So this is completely working style of garbage collector, automatic memory management, internal process. This is happening. But whatever I explained so far, this process completely, for doing this process, Microsoft people has written completely code, logic code they have written. So that's what we can say, garbage collector working nature is completely programmable. Programmable means already they have written some program for doing this kind of process. According to their program only, this process will be happen internally. So this is garbage collector working style. Okay, completely managed heap mechanism through it will be work out, because memory can be a lot at runtime by garbage collector. Okay, and compile time memory at what time? Compile time memory, who will alert, sir? Compile time memory at a time your internal memory it will be used for compilation time. Runtime garbage collector memory it can be used. This is complete introduction of .NET. So far whatever we discussed last sessions and up to this up to now, what we discussed introduction session we completed. Now we'll start. Now we will enter into a programming part. First, I would like to discuss basic important points I need to give. C# .NET. First, we will start C# .NET programming language. So what is C# .NET? C# .NET is a high level high level object oriented object oriented object oriented programming language. C# .NET is a high level object oriented programming language. High level means you need not to bother about low level activities like memory management purpose, you need not to write code. Security purpose, we need not to write code. So automatically garbage collector will take care memory management. Security also built in code access security option will be there. So that will take care. High level programming language means. Object oriented means you know that it's powerful. C# .NET is a powerful object oriented programming language, because for security implementation of the code purpose we use generally object oriented programming only. So C# .NET is object oriented programming language. And next, the C# .NET is a powerful programming language. C# .NET is a powerful programming language. Why it is powerful programming language means C# .NET is equals to C++ plus Java plus what we can say VB 6.0 plus additional features. These are all we have in only one programming language called C# .NET. C# .NET is a powerful programming language which includes C++ features, Java features, VB 6.0 features, and additional features also will be there in C#. So one programming language is quite enough to get all features which will be coming from different languages. That is C# .NET. It's powerful language. And C# .NET is a case sensitive programming language. C# .NET is a case sensitive. Case sensitive means how the way you define the variables and functions and classes. Okay, same way how to access. In different way it is not possible to access. And next, C# .NET, in C# .NET mainly we need to discuss one application, that is basic application, console application we will talk. In C# .NET console application will start. Our complete C# .NET will be covered under console application as well as Windows Forms application. So console application means what here? Point number one, console application is a standalone or desktop application. Console application is a standalone or desktop application. And console application, in console application, console is a class. Console is a class, we can say that. Console is a class which is present in system namespace. System namespace means header file, we can say that. System namespace. Console is a class which is present in system namespace. Console is a class. Next, console class. Console is used to work with input and output stream. Input and output stream, we can say that. console is used to work with input and output stream. For example, if you want to give input to application, or if you want to get output, so completely you can use console class only. Without console class we can't give input, without console class we can't get any output. So input output purpose console class is required. Okay, so console application programs are console app application programs are just like C++ programs, which will be work under command prompt. So this is C++ programs. Console application programs are just like C++ program application, but console class is having basic important method here. Console class is having methods. What are the important methods are there in console class? First one, write method, W capital here, and next one, write line method, here also W capital and L capital. Next read method, R capital. Next read line method. So observe here clearly, write and write line methods are output purpose, we can say that. Write and write line methods are output purpose. Okay, output means just if you want to print something to the user, then we can use write line statement, write and write line. Write and write line. So write and write line is used for output purpose. Read and read line is used for input purpose, we can say that. Output purpose, write and write line, just to print some statements or values in the output screen. And read line means from end user, if you want to accept values, then we can use read and read line here. But what is the difference between write and write line method? Write method is used to display statements in same line, same line. Whereas write line method is used to display statements in line by line. Statements in line by line only, we can say that. It is just nothing but new line we can consider. Write line method is used to display statements in line by line. Write method is used to display statements in same line. And read method, read line. I'll show examples, don't worry. Just let me start practical implementation. At that time, I'll show you clearly examples. Read method is used to read single character. Yeah. See here, write and write line methods are for output purpose. For example, I'm taking here console dot write is a method. Suppose I'm saying hello here. So output will be print hello. So console, again one more statement, if I write console dot write hello Durga Soft, I'm taking. This is the example of console dot write. The output will be look like, sir. You can see this output is look like. Output will be look like. Same line only, it is going to be print. So hello is going to display, and Durga Soft also it's available in the same line, because write method I'm using this. Two statements I'm using, but even though I use two statements you are using what method? Write method. Hello Durga Soft. But write line method means not like this. Here if I use write line method, it will be display line by line. You can see this. If I use here write line, here also write line, and hello is present in first line and Durga Soft is present in next line. The output will be moved to next line actually here. This is the case we use write and write line methods. Okay, I'll show you practically. Even I start today programming part also. That in that case I'll type same program. You can see the output difference clearly. Write and write line. Next, read and read line. Read means to read input from the user. It is used to read input from user. But here read method will read. It will read single character at a time. Single character at a time, or next character. Single character or next character. Single character only. But it will read ASCII value of the character only. It will read ASCII value of the character. ASCII value of the character, we can say that. It is used to read input from user. It will read single character at a time, and it will read ASCII value of the character. So for example, I'm giving my input MOHAN. I'm giving my input. User side, I'm giving input. Whenever I use read method for reading these characters which is entered by the user, read method will read input from the user, and it will read single character, means at a time M it will be read first, then after O, then after H, then after A, then after N. That too, it will not read character directly, M or O or H or A. So it will read ASCII value of the character, means M ASCII value, what is that? That will be written. O ASCII value, what is that? That is going to be read. So ASCII value of the character will read. So that's the reason return type of read method is. They might be asked in interview, what is the return type of read method? Return type of read method is integer. We have to say. Why we have to say integer return type of read method is because it will read ASCII value of the character, not character directly. But whereas readline method also same, it is used to read input from the user only, same as it is readline method also, but it will read group of characters. Difference is clear. It will read group of characters, we can say that, group of characters, and it will read string value of the characters. It will read string values. So return type of read method is string, we can say that. Return type of read line method is what we can say, string. Why it is return type of read line method is string? Because it will read group of characters that are all string value of the characters, not an integer. These two you have to notice importantly. So read method and read line method difference is very clear. If I enter in the read method some Mohan, so this all group of characters together it will read by using readline method. Okay, that's what return type of readline method is, string, whereas return type of read method is what's our integer value, we can say that. So this is basic introduction of console application and C#.NET. We'll see now. So we'll start creating console application, but to create console application or any other application, compulsory we need to make setup. So our setup is what? First we have to make the setup called Visual Studio here. So Visual Studio 2019 already, which we have in my computer, but just a few steps I would like to show you how to download and install here. Okay, so as I said that Visual Studio 2019 is a licensed version, but what version is the licensed thing and which version is available for free of cost, I will show you. Just immediately to make the setup of Visual Studio, go to Google and type download. Just in Google type download Visual Studio 2019. You just type download Visual Studio 2019. Immediately you will be able to notice like visualstudio.microsoft.com downloads link will be there. You just go there, click over there, and you can see this. You will be able to notice here three things are there. So community option will be there. It's a free download is available here. Powerful IDE, free for students and open source contributors and individuals. And professional editor is there, and enterprise edition also there here. Professional means professional ID for best suited for small teams. Even it is free trial version. Already they will give 1 month trial period. After that you should also buy from Microsoft. This is small team purpose. It can be able to useful that. And enterprise edition means and scalable end-to-end solution for teams of any size. So larger size of team if you maintain, so in your organization, that can be used enterprise edition here. These two are not free of cost. These two are only licensed version. Only trial version is going to be give. So this is completely for student point of view. They are giving a free. So you just download, free download, and once you will get download Visual Studio 2019.exe will be there. You just double click on .exe. You just install it by click on next, install it. It's pretty simple and straightforward installation clearly here. Or else if you don't know how to install, you just go to YouTube and type steps to install Visual Studio 2019, and some suggestions will come from there. You can follow that instructions clearly. Okay, it's not a big deal actually here, but make sure that to continuously if you want to use Visual Studio 2019, so better to create your Microsoft account with Outlook. Okay, Microsoft account. So whenever 1 month after trial period, this also it will ask you to update. So you have to give your Outlook account username and password, then it will click on update. So again it will be extended that usage, so it will be available for lifetime later. Okay, so this is the steps you have to follow. Visual Studio 2019 you have to install like this, and any installation problem is there, you just contact with me, no problem. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Even you can download it from Microsoft and install it. Next, install it. Okay, yeah. But first time when we try to launch Visual Studio 2019, select the programming language is Visual C Sharp, because our programming language is C Sharp. So I have to launch with that only here. Okay, so after Visual Studio 2019 installation, you may ask doubt like, sir, .NET framework is not required. So not required, because Visual Studio 2019 when we install, automatically .NET framework 4.7.1 or 2 it will come directly. Now next step is what I need to create here, a console application. To create console application, I have to open Visual Studio 2019 here. So let's open Visual Studio 2019. So here you can see, go to search and VS, type Visual Studio, you can type, and there is icon Visual Studio 2019. But for the first time, if you want to create a new application or new project, so you have to create new project here. Just click on new project here. Once you click on new project here, it will ask you to set the project name or application name, and also select the right platform and right configuration. Here you can see programming language, I'm choosing C#.NET. Not only C#, there are a lot of languages are there here. We can able to use this Visual Studio for these many programming languages, even Java, JavaScript, Python, TypeScript, Visual Basics, and so on. And C#, I'm selecting. My platform is Windows platform, so that's what I'm taking, Windows. And my application type is console, so let me use console type. And but here you can see this, observe here. In introduction I told you that .NET is platform independent as well as dependent. When we go for here, console app .NET framework, we will be able to see that only Windows platform. But when we go for console app .NET core, so now C#, Linux, Mac OS, Windows, console, everything is there. Other operating systems also there. But let me choose console app .NET framework. If you want to run in other platform, then you can go for this .NET core. Or if you want to work with Windows platform operating system, then you can use console app.NET framework. So let's click on next. Once we click on next, it will ask you to create your project name. So my project name is already there. So let's if you want to change the name of the project, you can change the name. Otherwise, let's keep as this here, console app 1 only there. And the location of my project is I'm changing. So click on here for easy way to access further. Now go to G drive. I'm going to G drive here. Let's move to G drive here. In G drive, I'm preparing one new folder. That folder is completely reserved for your batch. So later you can able to collect this entire the folder for soft copy of programs. So what we can say here, .NET at 10 a.m. .NET at 10 a.m. Yeah, tell me question. Online, I can say that. This is my folder name. So already I created this folder .NET 10 a.m. online. So select that folder and click on OK. Now you can see this here, framework 4.7.2 I choose. Your location is .NET online at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. online is there. Yeah, you can ask the question, Mr. Ajit. No problem.
Yeah, the
And after
question
that,
is,
yeah,
I have 2017 Visual
it's
Studio.
okay. It's perfect. It's perfect. No need to worry. So you can go through it also, no problem. Almost all same.
Ah, okay, okay. But all these features that you are explaining is not there.
No, it's there, sure. All, yeah, this kind of steps will not be there, I think so.
Yes, yeah, I
Yes,
can see the program and console application one.
yes. Directly also you can approach, no problem. You might not be expect all these things, so no problem at all. You can go through, but happily you can able to create a console application and you can able to work your programs also same as this. Once I enter into the code, same visibility is there, but process will be
Ah,
different.
yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
So I'm selecting here, and I'm selecting here. project name console app 1, and location I clearly mentioned there, .NET at 10 online. So once I created this .NET Framework 4.7.2, then just we click on create here, just click on create option. So once we create, then it will be prompted to your project like console app 1. But uh, once if you go to console app 1 project, so this is the basic structure of console program. You can see, let me just wait few seconds. It takes few seconds to load for the first time. Then so this is the basic structure of console program. It will come. So by default, as I said, some predefined namespaces will come according to your type of application what you choose. But that predefined namespaces also will not be populated or highlighted. So as per your code, whichever related to that namespace, that namespace is going to highlight it later. Still it is taking time, so please wait few seconds. Now you can see this. This is completely basic structure of console program here. Basic structure of console program. So these are all our namespaces what we have, but no namespace is highlighted like populated. Okay, it's in the hide mode only, because in this namespaces related code we don't have inside the program. That's what no namespace is highlighted here. So using system.collections.generic language integrated query text threading.task here. So these namespaces are by default it will come. And this namespace here, console app 1, is user defined namespace. Here it is. Yes, this is also namespace. Your application also consider as a namespace. So this is user defined namespace, we can call it as. But observe here, right hand side, you have a solution explorer. You just click over there, right hand side, solution explorer. Your solution name is console app 1. In this solution name, your project name this is, and program.cs will be there here. Program is a class name. By default, one class will come, that is program. First time it will come with this name. Next time when we add classes, you can change the class names as your wish. And .cs is extension of console C#.NET. Here we are choosing C#.NET program. That's what here it is. .cs is there. And if we choose VB programming language, then VB.VB will be present here. And next, left hand side also toolbox will be there. Generally toolbox will have some controls like labels, text boxes, buttons, and etc. And this console application is not a GUI facilities provide. It will provide only CUI. That means character user interface. That's what will not find any controls on toolbox. Later when we go through web applications of ASP.NET, even Windows Forms application in C#.NET, when we go through toolbox, you will have plenty of controls in toolbox here. Server Explorer also there, left hand side, which is used to connect with the database from here to database SQL Server. If you want to interact, then you can use path settings purpose, we can use Server Explorer. And Solution Explorer is important to us, so you can manage your files and folders from this Solution Explorer through only. Okay, so this is the first class name is program. And by default, when we create for the first time console application, and when we include one class called program, so entry point will come by default, static void main, M capital compulsory. This is an entry point of program, we can say. And string square bracket args is a command line argument, we can say that. This is string square bracket args, it's a command line argument. It is optional to include, it's not compulsory to include, sir, here. So the program execution will begin from main method only. So that's what we can call it as entry point. In C#, .NET, the entry point you can keep anywhere in the middle of the program, or top corner of the program, or bottom corner of the program. Anywhere you can include main method. So happily it will be work out, no problem at all. Okay, so it's a compiler based, so anywhere it will be, it can be a main method. From that main method onwards, code will be executed. Just for showing that I'm going to write, suppose console is a class here. Console is a class, so I'm taking console class. So as soon as when we enter something here, some IntelliSense is coming. So whatever you want to type, if it is there in IntelliSense, select that and press enter. Automatically it will be captured from there. So this is console is a class. Dot write or write method is there. You can see when I type WR, so automatically two options came, write or write line here. First let me go with write. Suppose here I'm taking hello, I'm taking, and colon is a semicolon ended with the statement. So console dot write, again I'm writing right here, and here you can see Durga Soft. Hello Durga Soft I'm taking. So close this. So semicolon. Two simple statements I included. So as of now we have only one program, that is program.cs. But if you want to compile and run this program, what is the procedures are? To compile and run this program, the procedure is in this here we have two options. First, if you want to compile, you can compile separately. After successful compilation, you want to execute later, you can go through it. Or else compilation and execution at both at a time in one click. If you want, you can go through this start option. But let me compile first. Compile means here build option is there in Visual Studio. You can go to build option, and build console app 1 is there. If there is no errors in the program, then build completion of successfully done. Here left hand side bottom corner you will see build started, and build successfully done, it is there, build succeed. If it is build successfully done, build succeeded option will be there. Here you can see build succeeded means you are ready to execute your program, no compilation errors. But next, if you want to run this, then you can go to click on start option, or else press F5 from your keyboard, F5. Now you can see we got an output, but observe carefully. As soon as when we click on start button, so it will come and go. So our output screen is not going to be stay back. So to stay back our output screen, so we have to use console.read method. We have to use what method? Console.read method. Console.read method is used to stay back the screen permanently. Now let's run this one. We got an output, hello Durga Soft. It's look like small font. Let it be change the font size in the output window. To change the font size in the output window, this is called command prompt. And you can go through here, click over there, and properties option you can select, and here you can see font option will be there. Any font option like 24 I'm giving, but let's click on OK. Even layout also I want to reduce something. Layout is, suppose I'm giving 90 is a width, and 20 is the height I'm taking. So this is my layout. Let's click on OK. So now you can see the output is looking somewhat big size. But observe here in the output here, hello and Durga Soft is present in same line only, because of we have written what? Write statement, write methods. Console is a class, write is a method. Write and write line methods are there for output purpose. If I use write line here, but in this write line mechanism, then we got an output in different lines. Console hello is one line, Durga Soft is in other line, it is there. So this is hello Durga Soft we have. Okay. So but observe here, whenever you want to exit from this output screen, you have two options. Either you can click on close button here, or else you can press enter only. So I'm just pressing enter. You can see this, press enter. You will exit from this output window clearly. Understand? You're exiting output from the output window. But we have one more method is there here. Instead of read method, if I use read key. So read key is nothing but after executing program, you can press any key from your keyboard, so automatically it's going to be exit from your output window. Any key, just press enter any key in your keyboard, so automatically you will exit from output window here. This is read method, read key method, like this. But observe here in this program, once I write console class, So namespace is automatically highlighted using system namespace. As I told you that console is a class which is present in system namespace. If system namespace is not there here, if we not include or if we remove this system namespace, console class will not work out. Compulsory, if you want to use console class in your program, system namespace is required. But how to remove this? Don't remove if at all if you want to remove anything. Okay, so just make the comment section. Yes, compulsory. Everything is the material is there. I prepared some document. I'll show end of the session now only what material I'm going to show you. Class 1, class 2, class 3, everything I have pre-written so that I will send to you. Session wise document I'll send to you. Okay, don't worry. Now you can see anything if you don't want to use some particular period of time. So don't remove completely, but meanwhile you can put the comment section. Comment means you know that every time if you want to write description about your program, then you can put the comment section, or else if you don't want to execute some lines of the code, then that lines you can put in the comment section. So to put comment section, some of the lines, place the cursor over there, which line you want to keep comment. Then you can see these options are there here, commented out the selected lines. Now it is commented here. So or else you can starting two slashes, you can give no problem. Again, if you want to uncomment, place the cursor same wherever you want to uncomment. Again, you can see uncommented out selected line top corner, you can see it will become. But observe the reaction when I comment this now in the program console is showing underlined red squiggling is there. So when I place the mouse pointer over there, the name console does not exist in the current context. Even when we execute directly also, it will ask you to confirmation. There were build errors. Build errors means compilation errors are there. Would you like to continue and run the last successful build? Means S means you will get output as well as errors also will come. No means you will get only errors. So this is the C#.NET is a compiler based programming language. So whole program at a time it will be checked in that program how many number of errors are there, that many errors will be displayed in the output. You can see name console does not exist in the current context, line number 13, line number 14, line number 15, these errors are there. If you want to go through directly lines, so double click on this one, so your cursor is going to be focused on that line. So you have to rectify the issue. What is the issue here? Console is showing error, means this respective namespace is not there. You can see include the namespace here by removing comment section manually. Now let's run this, it will work fine. So console is present in a namespace called system namespace. Even you don't include this system namespace as a header section, and every time in the every line also you can use it. Now system dot we can use here, and also we can use system dot every time console wherever it is there, system is required now this time, but it's not good practice, it's not recommend also, because 10 to 15 lines of code if you write and 10 to 15 times every time you have to write system like that, but it's not good practice. Even it will work out sure, even as a header file you don't use system header file system namespace, easily we can able to include system every time in the every line here. Okay, so anyways you can use, no problem at all. And next another thing is, this is basic programs which I discuss here. And next if you want to create one more program, for example, sir, I created only one class file here program.cs, I want to go with one more program in my application. So how to add one more class to the existing application? So these steps you have to follow. I will show all steps how to add class to your console application. One more extra class if you want to add, this is the procedure. You can see, go to Solution Explorer, and sometimes you may not find out in your practical sessions Solution Explorer, you may not find out left hand side. Some people will get doubts that we don't have any Solution Explorer from right hand side. So at that time, even anything left hand side and right hand side windows, if it is not there, so easily you can able to collect from view option. You can go to view option, and there it will be Solution Explorer is there. You just click on that, again it will come back come to there here. Okay, or else this Solution Explorer you are not feeling comfortable which is available in right hand side, but if you want to keep this into left hand side, so what we can do, uh, press left mouse pointer and just place the cursor here and drag it anywhere, so all corners are it is showing. So here I'm going to drag and drop in the left corner, so now onwards Solution Explorer is present in left hand side as per your comfortability. Again, let me drag and drop right hand side only. So as it is, you can keep right hand side. That is optional here. But how to add one more class to the existing console application? These steps you have to follow here. So first we have to go to Solution Explorer wherever it is there. Okay. So where is the Solution Explorer here? We don't have Solution Explorer. Now it's let's view option and go to Solution Explorer. Now Solution Explorer is available. So now let's. It's already filled up, so that's what it's not coming. No problem at all. One thing I can delete that. Now you can see Solution Explorer is available here, and go to Solution Explorer, right click on Console App 1, it's your project name, go to add option, go to add, then you just go to new item or else click on class, anyone you can go there. Even if you go to new item, there you have to select the class template, or else you just cancel it. Again, right click on Console App 1, go to add, and click on class. We can say here I'm clicking on class template I'm selecting, but make sure that Visual C Sharp items only have to choose, because your programming language is Visual C Sharp only. Class name, so any class name you can give. Class1.cs is there. If you want to change the name of the class, you can change the name of the class, but .cs compulsory required. You can click on add it, automatically it will add class1.cs. This is one option you have, and other option is very simple option. Like this also you can add some class to your existing application. Project menu, add class. It's very pretty simple and straightforward. Project menu, add class. Once you click on add class, now class template I'm selecting, click on add it. But observe here, once we added the class, a new class, so class name only came, but we don't have any main method. Yes, so first time only when we create console application, it will come with one class and it contains some entry point by default. So static void main method is there by default. But here next time when we add class, so you don't find out any main method. If you want to write manually, then you can write static space void space m capital main, and as I said that including command line arguments, string, square bracket, args is optional. Or if you want to write manually like this, you can write by typing from your keyboard, or else there is a shortcut way to add main method every time. svm, you can type it. S for static, V for void, M for main, and press two times tab key from your keyboard. Left hand side tab key will be there, no? Double time you can press it. 1, 2, automatically main method is going to create. So once again I'm saying SVM, static void main, shortcut way, and two times tab key you can press it. 1, 2, automatically static void main string ors will be created. This is a main method. And now this time I'm going to just for showing variation, so int a equals to 10, this is what variable data type and variable and value I'm assigning, and int b equals to 20, and these two values I want to display in my console window. So console.writeLine here, just my description, value of a is, and plus is a concatenation means adding variable data to the statement. Next, I'm taking console.writeLine. So value of b is, just value of b is, now plus b, we can say that this is the way, value of b is plus b. To stay back to our screen, console.read I'm using. You can see console.read. So this is just a very basic simple example I'm telling. So first you have to get awareness how to execute the programs and how to handle with variables and statements. So two variables are integer type and two variables values already declared inside the program. I would like to display back to the user with output. Okay. Now, if you execute directly, what happened? You can see this. Okay, we have two classes. Class one is there, and one more class also there, that is called program.cs is there. Already we executed successfully program.cs. But when we execute directly this, what happened? You will get error. Yes, there were build errors. Again, would you like to continue and run the last successful build? No means you will get error. What error you are noticing? You can see this. Yes, everybody will get this error first time. Program has more than one entry point defined. One entry point defined means what? Entry point is nothing but main method of program. So it shows clearly program has more than one entry point defined. Compile with the main to specify the type that contains an entry point, we can say that. So runtime is getting confusion here. So class1.cs is having one main method, program.cs also is having one more main method, but it's completely confusing. Ambiguity situation is there. To avoid this ambiguity, what we need to do, we have to change startup object. Startup object means what, the program from where onwards you should start, that is called startup object, we can say that. The program from where onwards you should start, that is called startup object. So how to change startup objects are here. So simple, that is, again go to solution explorer here. Again go to solution explorer and double click on properties. Two times you just click on, double click on properties. Here you will notice that startup object option here. Expand this drop down list. In your application, how many programs so far you created, that all programs will come. Which program you want to execute, that select it, and make sure that don't forget to save. Compulsory saving is required. Whenever you save, that changes will be affected. After saving this, then let's run this. You will get next program output, class1.cs output, value of a is 10, value of b is 20, like this only. This is the way to handle. Later, if you want to same program.cs you want to execute, and save it here and run it. Now we got output, first program output we are getting. So this is what handling with Visual Studio, just basic scenario I'm telling. In tomorrow's session we will discuss in detail other programs. We will discuss like how to accept values at runtime, or multiple variables with same data type. Why don't we declare in the single line, or multiple values, why don't we print in the same line with only one statement like console.writeLine. How to convert from one data type to another, typecasting, we'll discuss in detail in tomorrow's session. Okay, so yes, so that's all about today. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, no problem. From tomorrow onwards, programmatic will be and I forgot to show something here. Let just wait. Yeah, I'll try to show you. Just once I get the confirmation, list, those who what we can say join these sessions, for them I will send all videos and materials so far what we discussed. And let me get a confirmation from our team. Actually today by end of the day I'll get the confirmation. So now you can see this. I want to show you just .NET material. So C# session wise material I prepared. First session 1, whatever I explained to you, all things will be kept in this document. Okay, so this is session 1. And session 2. So session 2 matter is there clearly here completely, and session 3 also there here. Session 3. So all these things will be there completely here. Every session will be there. Okay, almost here you can see 33 34 sessions will be there. So only C# related with practical implementation. All programs also will be there. I placed that all programs, for example generics topic and theoretical matter and programs also included in this. You just while practicing directly copy from here and paste into Visual Studio and do practice also. It's very convenient way I prepared. You have to watch part number C# part 1 video, and that related document you have to see that. No, get nothing to get confused. Okay, that much of clearly I prepared the document. You will not uh, what we can say confused. You will not get any confused. Yeah. So
One
that's all
question.
about. Yeah, tell me, sir.
Would you recommend any book?
So I'll not recommend any book. So Rack's publication is there. You, if you want, you can able to read. But my strong opinion is you can't able to go through it. So because that matter is goes very vast, and it's even it's a simple topic. Reading also it will take a lot of time, and that's what we are here to simplify the things and make the presentation in simple way to understand. Or else you can go through any websites also. That's better. Stack Overflow, or else C# corner, and some of the Java T-Point. So some websites are there, popular websites. You can go there and you can search it. Later I'll give website list also uh, for checking and cross verification some of the more examples like this. But what I strongly recommend, please go through my videos and my practical examples. After that, you can go through your own R&D mechanism way.
Okay. Okay. You
Yeah.
will you be providing some sort of information on the web services related using .NET framework?
Web services, we will cover only a few basics of web services actually. That is the
Okay.
web
Okay.
service.
Try to
ASP.NET it will
please try
cover.
to cover a little bit
Sure,
about that.
sure. Little bit understanding and with practical implementation also I will tell you web services. In ASP.NET I'll cover web services with web applications.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you tomorrow at same time, sir. Have a nice time.